very, very important.
No,
It is
that's
not
not it.
enough.
That's not what I want.
Bad basketball. The refs killed the game, and I will be the first
this is
to
awful
admit.
too.
Texans who will forever regret passing on Johnny
Is that serious
Manziel.
right now?
Golden Boy's coming
what?
back.
And he wants to come back.
Dancing with the
No.
Stars.
And
Dancing with the
he
Stars.
called out
No.
Conor McGregor.
Oh, shit.
No, that's
God,
true.
no.
Yes.
Hey,
It's a true
motherfucker.
story.
This I can get into.
And welcome back. You're listening to Scout Team Sports. I am Loudbeard, and I'm super excited to be here because the Carolina Panthers are on the TV losing to the New Orleans Saints 21-14. What do you think about that, Chris America?
I think it's as embarrassing as the take two because you thought that this was the Thursday night and that was Thursday Night Football.
I was thinking the same thing. You didn't think we were going to let you go, right?
Yeah.
Come on,
So we
bro.
did a first take where Kyle was all excited that my Panthers were losing to the Saints, and he
was
thought it was a
happy as
live
hell,
game.
bro. He was out there.
And now we had to stop it and we deleted it. But it's okay, buddy. We still love you.
you really
Here's the
deleted that?
deal. When I'm controlling the laptop over here, I can delete whatever I want.
You deleted it,
And
man?
here's the deal.
Oh, that's horrible, bro.
I fucked up.
It's
I'll
all
be
right.
honest with you.
It's all right.
I'm
We still
sitting here,
love
I'm
you,
like,
man.
is it Wednesday night? Is
Exactly,
it
dude.
Thursday night? The good news is I'm drinking a really nice ice cold beer, and it's my fourth or third.
You're like 3 or 4 in, man. So
Fourth.
it's fine.
And so
It's root
I can
beer.
make those mistakes. It's birch beer. It's
Not your papa's root beer.
cream soda.
Yeah, something like that.
And we're back.
Yeah, we're here.
Hey, so did you guys see it's going to get Florida cold this weekend?
Like
Oh, yes, 60 degrees.
60 degrees.
I'm breaking out my winter coat.
Like right now, it's probably 72. We're on a back patio of a restaurant. I'm in
That's
shorts and a t-shirt.
Feels good.
Are you going to be okay, guys?
It's 60 degrees. I'll be fine. I'll be all right.
Now, Mac, have you ever lived outside of the state of Florida?
No.
What is the coldest weather you've ever been in?
I was in New York for a quick day,
Okay.
and it was snowing.
A
I
quick
don't remember
day?
Yeah, I flew in.
How old
and I
were
flew
you?
right back out. I was about 19. I was working at McDonald's. We had
He flew in, said, damn it, it's too cold, and flew right back out.
No. What happened was we flew in, and the convention got canceled because it was like a blizzard or something was
Right.
coming, and we didn't want to get stuck in New York for like more time than we allowed it. So
was
they
that
sent us back
2003?
home. Shit, it was somewhere around there.
Nah,
was
because
right after
I was
high school.
in Boston in 2003. I
It
was
was right
stationed
after-
up there,
it was right after high
and there was a nor'easter that rolled through. It was pretty fun.
Yeah, I went in, I flew in, went to the hotel, and they were like, "Hey, we're gonna cancel this convention, and you guys can go back home." So shit, all right, we went back home.
All right, so you grew up in Maryland,
I did.
I've been-
till I was 6. But
right?
yeah,
yeah. So
grew up.
but you've been
somewhere.
through winters.
I went through. Yeah, there used to be this hill behind my house where I'd take the sled out, and every time it would snow, the hill was. Back then, I felt like it was like 100,000 feet cliff. I bet if I went back now, it'd probably be like 10 feet.
Right.
Yeah,
But it was this little hill, and I'd take my sled, go out there, go sledding, and I remember that. That's one of those vivid, like 5-year-old memories that I have. And I have family up in Philly now, so I go up there and visit every once in a while, and occasionally I'll catch some snow,
nice.
but not too often. And I don't know. I'm a Florida guy. I don't see snow very often.
Right.
It's just.
but
this
you can handle it.
60 degrees.
Oh no, I
is
can't
cold.
handle it.
You can't handle
No,
the cold.
no.
You can't handle 60?
I mean, me and snow is like you with ghost peppers.
Ooh, man, he's just throwing them out there.
That's
Dude,
all right.
60 degrees isn't cold though.
No,
man.
but it'll get down to the 40s.
Yeah,
at
still,
night.
still not that cold.
All right,
I feel
so
Max gonna break out and baby, it's cold outside
So
right
Mac-
now because it's like
Baby, it's
we're getting
cold
near Christmas
outside.
time.
So was that the only time you've seen snow? Was that hot minute in New York?
Yeah, just
All right, so I have some questions because I heard somebody talking about being in Minnesota, and I thought I've been in some snow things. I know that you have, Kyle.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure about you, so I wanted to ask you some things about would Anthony Mack do these snow things? So the first thing they were talking about was ice fishing. Would Anthony Mack ever sit in 10 to 15 degree weather and go ice fishing?
Bitch, I don't fish when it's 80 outside. What the fuck are you talking about? Hell no, I ain't
This
going
is a
fishing.
great idea for a show. So in February, we're going to fly up to either Montreal, Canada,
Right.
or Minnesota.
Let's go to the Super Bowl because the Super Bowl's in Minnesota.
Oh,
We can
Super
go ice
Bowl,
fishing and
ice
then go
fishing,
watch-
and then watch the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
Done.
Perfect.
Ice fishing.
All
we
right.
need some press passes.
I do want to go to that cave in Utah that's always warm. You ever
No.
seen
We're
that?
talking about cold weather.
Yeah, fuck
Why are
that.
you bringing
I
up
mean,
warm weather?
I mean, it's cold.
hey,
but
I'm going to go to
cave is
Mexico
like
because the
80
sun's
degrees.
always shining.
I'm just saying.
All right, so I have another. So
Go
you
ahead.
mentioned sledding.
Yeah.
Yeah,
go ahead.
I love some
Would
sledding.
you go sledding?
You know, the funny thing was when he was saying that, I was like, black people don't go sledding. Like, what the fuck is that shit? Sledding.
Yeah, you're more white than black,
Like
though.
we got
I mean,
we get a tire and roll down a hill, maybe, but there ain't no.
if you're
sledding
hanging
in the
out with
snow.
us once a week,
Yeah.
yeah,
Trust me,
you would sled.
I'm still gangster, homie.
All right, so does that mean you won't snow ski either?
No.
Oh, that's
a
emphatic no.
That's
That's
an
not
emphatic-
even just
That's
like,
a-
let me
that's
think about
That's
it.
a ghost pepper now.
Yeah.
Dude, why the hell would I go
That was a
skiing?
ghost pepper no.
I'll taste the ghost pepper. I'm not going skiing.
Ooh. Let's see. It's
Wow,
thrown out
that's
there.
intense.
All right. I'm waiting for the opportunity to throw that
like
out there.
I like that he'll go to this warm cave. He'll go fishing in 80-degree weather, and he'll do a hot ghost pepper. I see where you're going with this.
Yeah,
so I
yeah,
guess
dude.
snowball fights out too, right?
that would be
that
fun.
I would do. Now that
Oh,
I would.
yeah.
Okay, you would do a
Yeah,
snowball fight.
because I heard
So
it
if-
hurt like really bad.
So
like, when
if
hit
you
'em
had
hard
Chris
enough.
America with you in like a snowy situation, and you're like, I think I could roll up a really tight, like hard snowball and throw it right in his face. Would you do
it'd
it?
Be on.
So here's the thing.
Be
I
on like
grew up.
popcorn.
You grew up in the snow, so you knew what it was like to build a snowball or a snowman, whatever.
Right.
So you know what to expect. As an adult, I was like Anthony as well. I grew up my whole life without seeing snow. The first time I saw snow was when I was in boot camp in New Jersey in February. I'm
Just build a
standing at
snowman.
attention, getting yelled at while snow is falling. That's my first snow experience. But
Oh,
then I got
nice.
stationed in Maine and Boston, and so I got to have snow experiences. One of the things that they don't tell you during these Christmas specials where you see all these kids having snowball fights is that, one, you cannot make a real good snowball with gloves.
Nope, not true.
So, two, the other thing they don't tell you is that making a snowball with your bare hands hurts like shit.
That
Yeah.
it does. It stings.
It stings.
and then your
it
hand
almost
loses
burns.
feeling.
Yeah.
And then you think, oh my gosh, I've got the Jack Frost bite on
So
my.
to be in a snowball
fingertips.
fight, you got to be really committed to how much you hate the person.
Well, see, this is the thing about being in cold weather, and it doesn't really compare, but I worked in the freezer for about maybe a year and a half, so my temperature's always been a little off. That's why 60, 40-degree weather to me is kind of like, yeah, it's all right. You know, go put on a sweater or something. But also, what was I saying?
So since you're talking about sports, I want to bring up a quick.
something
I want to
important.
bring up a quick thing.
Wait,
real
wait.
quick.
It was the diabetes brain.
It is diabetes
It
brain.
hit me.
I had a segue for this. Where are you going?
You go with your
Are
segue.
you're not going into sports, are you?
I am going to go into sports.
All right, let me go into my.
All right, then you
sport.
go.
I'm going into sports here. So
No, I am going into sports.
I was listening to Girls Beer Sports before we came in to start recording this
in
podcast.
that order?
Could be different. I don't know. It is in that order, but I was listening to them on
It's
the
the,
way
it's
in.
the best order, I think. You got
Girls,
girls, and then
beer,
beer,
and
and then
then
sports.
Yeah.
They're in my top 3 of Mount Rushmore. I'm just throwing that out
course.
there.
Gotcha.
So, Carrie from Girl Beer Sports was bringing up. She's doing a bracket right now of Christmas movies, and I thought it was a cool idea. And I'm not going to do a bracket because that's way too much work. But I just wanted to throw this out to you guys.
I like that that idea is already taken. It's just too much work for me to do it.
I mean, we
Got
could
you.
do that, but it's way too much work. But I just wanted to throw out, if you were to do like a Mount Rushmore top 4 Christmas movies, what would your, or holiday movies out there for our Hanukkah friends, top 4, or Kwanzaa friends, top 4 Christmas movies that you would list right now? I've got like 4 in my brain. I got definitely a top 2. The other 2, I'm like, yeah, they're probably in there too.
My definite top 2 is Home Alone and Home Alone 2.
All right.
Home Alone 2 sucked.
Ernest Saves Christmas. What?
Home Alone 2 wasn't
Ernest
good.
Saves Christmas
All right, I like Ernest Saves Christmas. It was recorded
in Orlando.
In Orlando, which that makes it that might
Even
squeeze
better.
into my
Oh,
top
Junkyard,
4.
Yeah.
right?
So I got a 1 and a 2, and these 2 I watch every year. It is National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Yep,
I like
yep.
that movie.
That's,
That is my
that's
number
by
1
far.
by far. I've watched it every year since I was like 5, And at that point, it was already 10 years old.
And I watched it the other day. I forgot how funny Dan Mullen is in that movie.
Dan Mullen's in everything.
But no, I mean, he's in that movie as Cousin Eddie.
Yeah, he is Cousin Eddie. And then my number 2.
What?
Just look it up, man. Cousin Eddie and Dan Mullen look exactly alike.
I know that, but I'm like, come on, don't confuse me.
My top 2, one is the National Lampoons, but number 2 is Elf. Those are my by far top 2 Christmas movies. And my 3 and 4, that's where I get a little shady. So I'm looking for a little help from you guys because I'm like, should I throw in A Christmas Story? Do I like Tim Allen's The Santa Claus? Do I like Home Alone's 3. I got to go Home Alone 3.
Home Alone 3, man.
Yeah, for me that's 3. But where's the 4th one? The 4th one to me is like the Alabama, Ohio State of Christmas movies.
That's true.
Where do you go with the 4th one? Anthony, you got some looks on your face. Like you know where you're coming from on this. What do you got?
Black guys don't watch holiday movies. It just never was a tradition.
Now, can I ask-
Whoa.
Seriously.
This isn't the question is if you watch holiday movies, just give us something.
I don't.
I mean-
I
All right,
can't-
so the
off
most
the top of my
debated-
head, I really can't.
The
think
most
of anything.
every single year, radio shows and everybody else debates it. And since we're stealing ideas, let's steal this one too.
Go ahead.
Is Die Hard a Christmas movie?
Yes.
So then put that as your 4.
It's not really.
Now there's another movie, and I'm just gonna throw this out there because I think it's one of my favorite ones.
Wait, I got it.
Go for it.
Jingle All the Way.
No, I do not like Jingle All the Way.
Sinbad and Arnold Schwarzenegger. Are you kidding me?
Ah, when he was searching for the toy.
Yes, it's a good movie.
That was a good
And
movie.
on Girls Beer Sports, they were saying that Jingle All the Way was better than the Santa Claus with Tim Allen.
I'll
And
give him that.
All 4 of them on the show, Carrie, Lee, and all of them said that they thought Jingle All the Way was better. I can't agree with that. I think Santa Claus to me is a better Christmas movie, but Jingle All the Way is definitely a top 10. I'll give it that. And I do want to say that on Netflix, you can catch this movie. It's called A Christmas Horror Story. And that movie is surprisingly awesome.
Is that movie you told us about
Yes!
during our Halloween
Still haven't
special?
watched it.
I still love that
haven't
movie.
Watched it.
And now that I think about it, that's squeezing into the 4th spot
Like Krampus.
with Krampus.
I haven't seen it, but I'm just saying.
I haven't seen Krampus. Krampus looked fun as like a scary Christmas thing, but this other one, the Christmas Horror Story, is my number 4. So I'm going Christmas Vacation, Elf, Home Alone, Christmas Horror Story. You guys got any ones you want to add to that?
I already gave you my 4.
I don't have a list.
Home Alone 2,
Home
Christmas
Alone 3?
Vacation. No,
There's a third
no,
one
no.
without Macaulay Culkin.
Then it's garbage to me. It's dead to me.
Are you sure?
Without Kevin, it's not Macaulay Culkin. It's Kevin.
Is it like Trimmers without Kevin Bacon?
Probably.
Trimmers was awesome.
Trimmers was awesome.
Trimmers was awesome.
The sequels were not so good because Kevin Bacon did not join them.
You know. I don't have a list. I'm
And
not
Ernest
really,
Saves Christmas.
Ernest
Yeah.
Saves Christmas is good. It's got a place in my
Yeah.
heart.
You know what I mean, Vern?
You know what though? Ernest to me is great for all occasions. If I want to go to camp,
Yeah.
I
you're
watched
there.
Ernest.
If you want to go to jail,
if I want to go to jail,
You
if I
watch
want to go to
Ernest.
Halloween, his Halloween scary, what is it? Ernest
yeah.
Saves
Ernest Scared Stupid.
Yes. That
Listen, before Tyler Perry Medea, there was Ernest.
Oh my god.
So
And he did it too. He played the old lady.
Yeah,
He
he did.
played a whole bunch of different
Oh, yeah.
characters.
when I was like 8 years old, I remember having like this like sleepover birthday party, and it was my birthday's in October. So one of the things is that all these Halloween movies come out, and it was like right around the time Ernest Scared Stupid came out. So we rented it from it wasn't Blockbuster, it was Plaza Video, which was right near our house, and we got the VHS. And
VHS,
all of us
Wait.
were watching Ernest Scared Stupid, and that was my birthday
No,
party.
he didn't
That-
rewind.
That was one of those video places where they had like the old West doors, and you go through them, and it's to the one room.
It was actually a black curtain.
Oh, it was a black
and it
curtain?
said 18 and up, and I was only 8, so I was like, I can't go back there.
Can't go back
I also
there.
went there and rented like Super Nintendo wrestling games,
Wow. Oh,
which
yeah.
were the best.
Is
back
that the
in
one?
day.
Oh, like the arcade game?
Yes, those were the best.
Where it was kind of like Street Fighter meets because
Yeah.
everybody had like superpower. I remember the Undertaker like threw out these ghosts out of his
Yeah.
hands and stuff.
Oh,
That
there was
horrible.
probably like 20 different wrestling games, and they got better each time. But it was all the same thing, and all they would do is add like an extra move each time the game would come out, and it would have the updated like who was hot in wrestling right now. So like I was like, oh, I'm gonna be Kamala in this one, or I'm gonna be some of the like random wrestling guys from Hacksaw, whatever it takes.
No, you guys.
So is this a sports show? Because
Yeah,
I
so-
like talking about Christmas better than I like talking.
I honestly think
he's
now we should just start a new podcast where we just shoot the shit. Like,
he's definitely on the elf type shit, man. You're happy that Christmas is around?
all right, I'll say
Don't
I'll
be
go.
ninny muggins or whatever.
I'll go hit my segue now. We talked about how Anthony says black people don't sled.
You know?
I like how you get real
And-
quiet. You're like, I remember how Anthony said black people.
No,
don't."
I was trying to think of. I was trying to remember what he said. So black people don't sled.
Yeah,
What
no.
else did you say? They don't go skiing,
No,
or
no,
just
no.
you don't go skiing.
What black guy you know go skiing?
I don't know.
Linsky
Linsky goes
Tiger
skiing.
Woods when Lindsey Vaughn was out there.
You really want me to go on Linsky
No,
on the
no,
radio?
we're good,
All
we're
right,
good.
there we go.
So Anthony does our notes, and he wrote down here there are 16 black players in the NHL for Mac to watch.
Boom. 16. I was actually
Hey.
surprised.
PK Subban is my favorite.
It's probably the only one you know.
It is the only one I know. So by default, he is my favorite. The Lightning have a guy that's
The
pretty
Lightning
good.
have a guy, yeah.
Yeah,
So we
I
don't want you
remember
to. We don't
his
want you to
name.
list all 16.
No, because I don't
'Cause
know.
we already
all
took up
16.
too much
I can only name
time.
like 10 guys that play in the NHL anyway. I'm not a
Yeah,
hockey
I'm
guy.
not a hockey
so
guy.
That's like
bro.
7 more than I can name.
hey,
but our Lightning-
Yager is still playing.
Tampa Bay Lightning are still doing good.
Dude, they're
They're doing
playing
good. Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, and that's what made me want to look it up. I was just like, hey, they got a black guy on the team. I was like, I wonder how many black guys are actually in the league. And I was actually surprised because I only thought Tampa had that one guy and that was it.
That's less than one per team, though.
I'm just saying.
So Anthony,
That's kind of what I thought, though, right?
They're
You
like
know,
the
only one or
Giants of
two.
the NFL who finally had a quarterback that was black that started for him.
Anthony,
Yeah.
your son comes home
Uh-huh.
and he says, "Dad, I'm ready to hang up the cleats.
Mhm.
I'm ready to hang up the football helmet. I want some hockey pads, a hockey stick, and some skates."
You got to get a job. Hockey's an expensive sport, man. Seriously, that's one
Isn't football
hell-
too?
No, hockey's way more expensive. I'm talking about
But
like
it's the same deal. It's like the pads and then the entry fees.
for some reason it costs a little bit more. I mean, the ice itself. I mean, you got to go to a hockey rink.
That's true.
So the ice time
There's like
costs
2
money.
in the whole entire state of Florida. So
There's
That's
more
true.
than 2.
That's true.
but- there's more than 2. But
I mean, I know of the Maitland one, and what other ones
they got
are around
RDV.
here?
They have one
That's-
in Ellington.
Who-
they
where?
Have, they have one in Miami.
Okay,
Palm Coast.
so you got to travel like it's
Oh,
not
yeah.
like there's like
you
there's like
realize
10 football
Miami
fields.
is not.
and that's why it costs so
Right.
much. I know a youth hockey coach. He's actually a really big hockey guy, and that's why it costs so much. You travel every weekend. He's on the road. Like he's going to Iowa, and I'm like, why the hell are you going all the way up there? Oh, hockey tournament. I'm going to Ohio hockey tournament. So to be a hockey kid, you have to be elite for one, and two, you gotta be paid. Mommy and daddy. Gotta
Wait a
roll out the
second,
pockets.
Anthony. I just got to point this out.
you got to
What's
take
up?
a picture of that. So we're at this bar, we're out on the patio,
Yeah,
and
go
this
get 'em.
truck with Christmas lights all over it and a Christmas tree in the back. He's trying to get a picture of it.
He got it.
Boom, got
He
it.
got it.
We're gonna post it on Twitter.
Did he get it? You know he's slow.
He is slow.
I don't think he got it because he's still sitting over there.
This is just a Christmas spirit episode. I feel like.
I guess so.
I got a good picture.
All right, awesome. Yeah, I'm. Everybody's all Christmassy. I'm just not a Christmassy person. I just never get all excited about the holiday or whatever. So it is what it is.
I'll get you into the Christmas spirit. Come on over. We'll watch some Ernest Saves Christmas, some Jingle All the Way. Sinbad's hilarious, man.
That movie is good, but I'm not watching it over and over again.
And then you got the NBA on Christmas.
The NBA on Christmas. I mean, that's something to get excited about. But the last couple of years, the games haven't been that great. They haven't been a great draw, I guess, for me.
I mean, it's not as exciting as the hot dog eating contest on July 4th, but yeah, it's pretty big.
I just watched the bowl games. I'm football, and that's what I've been for the last 10 years of my life. Basketball is kind of taking a back seat, especially after all the flopping. I hate flopping. I just hate flopping, dude. It just bothers me. I sat down a couple of years ago and I said, I'm going to watch a basketball game. And I just saw these 250-pound men just flopping over the floor. And I was like, what is this?
It's become worse than wrestling.
Yeah, it's bad. So I just turned the station. I haven't really got back into it. I mean, obviously we would do a sports podcast, so
Right.
I'm gonna have to watch a couple of games. But it's just something haven't been happy about.
The
last
NBA
couple
season
years.
for me is the same with the hockey season and the baseball season. It's hard to get into at the beginning of the season where
Watch the end of it.
players take time off, whether it's during the game, or they just don't play at all. It's just, hey, we lost today. Who cares? Like we joked a lot about the Cavs going, having a losing record.
Yeah.
You're allowed to take a month off in basketball, and
Somewhat.
it doesn't mean a damn thing.
The second in division
Because right now they're 17-7. They've won like 12 straight, and it doesn't matter. They took the whole
Exactly.
month of November off. If you took the month of September off in college football, you're
You're
done.
Yeah.
See ya. I mean, that's what Florida State did. That's what Florida took the
Yeah.
month of October off. Florida State took the month of September off.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? One's not playing a bowl game. The other is
Barely
in
a bowl
Shreveport,
Shreveport. Is
So,
that where it is?
With the NBA, it's kind of why it's hard for me to get into it before Christmas.
Yeah, it's a lot, and just the flopping for me. So basketball doesn't really intrigue me that much.
The flopping is super annoying,
Oh,
and
God,
you
it's
have to
horrible.
kind of back off and say, all right, flopping is part of it. It pisses me off.
It should
The
be part
Anderson
of it.
Varejãos, the Zaza Pachulias, those type of guys just piss me off because I feel like they're always just trying
On the
to
ground.
get. Yeah, they're always on the ground trying
The
to.
biggest dudes on the team are always on the ground, and I'm just like, dude, like you didn't see Shaq just flopping all over the place. You know what I'm saying?
Well, because number one, it was completely unbelievable that anybody could knock a 300-pound man over.
yeah.
You could see Spud Webb like
Yeah, running
driving
to-
into
No, forget
Shaq, and
Spud Webb.
Shaq would be like, bleh.
You would have like Muggsy Bogues driving the lane, and then Shaq falls down.
Goes back 50
I mean,
feet.
seriously, the flopping is frustrating.
No, you know what frustrates me more than the flopping though is just fouls overall.
Yeah.
To me, I feel like you need to completely hack a player for it to be a foul. This whole
Absolutely.
I'm driving the lane and I touch your
Yeah,
graze
come
your
on,
shoulder,
bro.
we're gonna blow a whistle. Like no, it has to affect the
You have
shot.
to
Wait a
tackle.
second. You
Let's
just,
have a little bit of contact allowed.
Tackle.
if they change that, you just killed James Harden's career.
I just killed
That's
LeBron
fine.
James' career.
That's fine.
I mean, these guys, all they do is they drive to the basket, they get to
Then
the
they
foul
draw a
line.
foul.
that's why everybody says, oh, LeBron is better than Jordan. I'm like, no, LeBron probably could have survived better than any current NBA player back in the day, but Jordan was checking people.
I'll be
Like-
honest with
like
you,
Jordan
I
had his
would
hand in his
never, ever say that LeBron is better than Jordan.
No,
Ever.
never.
I don't care.
Never.
Well, if you gave me $1 million on the side, I would say it, but
You'd
I
start
wouldn't mean
spending.
it. I
Yeah.
would not mean it at all.
You'd have to give me a 10-year, $75 million contract.
I mean, basically, you'd have to sell your soul to the devil, like Jimbo Fisher, just to be able to
Herman
say
Edwards.
that Jordan is not, or LeBron is better than Jordan, and that's
Yeah.
not a thing.
Yeah,
That is totally not a
it's
thing.
not a thing. It shouldn't. Nobody should ever say that.
So-
So Jordan was checking people back in the day. Nobody.
Yeah.
I mean, he was balling. He was a
Dude.
hard fouler.
I will say it now, and I will go to my grave saying this. Jordan is by far the best player I've ever seen play. I think LeBron is the best player I've seen play recently. And I love how Steph Curry has changed the game and made the three-point shot. Like him, he can throw a half-point or half-court three-point shot up and it go in like it's nothing. And that in itself, I like how
Well,
he's
I
changed
don't
the
know,
game.
man. Ray Allen was shooting threes back in
No,
the
Well,
no,
day.
no,
no,
Ray
no.
Allen was nowhere near
Reggie
with
Miller
Steph
was
Curry.
shooting threes.
Reggie Miller is an amazing player, and I'm not taking that away from
Are you
him.
serious?
But Steph Curry is revolutionizing the way
No,
the
you
game's
serious?
played.
Steph Curry
Yes.
to me is ruining the game
Come
because
on,
Steph Curry, if you ever watch him play, you go, "Wow, that is an awful shot selection," but it went in. So then now you have all these other kids and other players going, "Oh, let me play like Steph Curry." But you're not as good as Steph Curry, so you're gonna take these awful shot selections and miss. And it's if there's one thing I cannot stand when I'm watching a basketball game is poor shot selection. I hate seeing guys just get in trouble and they just throw the ball up to the rim.
So Curry's got like 10 feet back from the three-point line.
And he just takes a shot.
He takes a shot.
And he makes it.
And he makes it
Any
a
other
pretty good high percentage.
any other player, you're sitting there going, "What an awful shot!" Like, why would you take that shot?
But that guy can do it. That's what's fun to watch about
No,
him.
but that's what I'm saying. You say he's
mean,
revolutionizing the game.
yeah,
He's
that's
ruining the game
not-
because nobody else can do what he does.
I
It's
mean,
just like
eventually they're gonna
LeBron
do it.
James. LeBron James is a physical freak of nature.
Agreed.
So nobody else can just athletically drive the lane and just knock people around and slam dunk and draw the foul.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't want any other player basing their game off of LeBron James because you're not that guy.
I mean, sort of, kind of. I can't say he's revolutionizing the game because, remember, the three-point line did get moved back a couple of years ago, right? Like back in the 90s. So, I mean, for that to happen, you had to have some guys to revolutionize it back then. Are they going to move the three-point back 3 more feet?
Okay,
I'm
so
just saying, right?
I'm just going to throw out a couple names here because we talking Michael Jordan, we're talking LeBron James. Both of those guys are just by far one of those players that are like once in a generation type players.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Steph Curry falls into that because he's taken the game to a different level. He's taken it to a point where, yes, every other player in the NBA, every other guy on the court, every other and one guy that takes a shot 10 feet behind the three-point line is a fucking moron. But Steph Curry does it, and it's beautiful.
Right. No, I'm not
And
taking anything away from Steph
watching
Curry.
him do it, I like what I guess say
Right.
that he's revolutionizing the game. The way he's revolutionizing it is because the 3-point, and I think he's kind of spearheaded this, even though there has been other great three-pointer shooters like a Ray Allen. But the fact that the game has come to a point where we're looking at analytics and saying it is a higher percentage if we're shooting 40% or above at three-point line than for us to shoot a long two-pointer. So you're either driving to the basket and getting a layup and a dunk or a free throw, or you're shooting a three-point shot. And Steph has showed that he's either going to drive or a three-point shot. He's not shooting a 20-footer. He's not shooting a 25-footer. He's either shooting a 40-footer or he's going up and doing like some crazy behind-the-back lay-in. And I just love the way he plays the game, and I love watching him. I think as a fan, just seeing that greatness is probably what's more important than anything else. And the fact that Durant, who's also kind of a revolutionary type player, where he's a 7-footer who is athletic and can shoot a three-pointer almost as good as Steph Curry, having these two guys on the same team, it's a lot of fun to watch. But I also like to root for other teams to beat them because they've been so good. I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there.
Yeah, I hear you.
probably took it a little bit on a rant, which it's okay, right? Scout Team Sports is all about being for the fans, and I'm a fan.
You do rant a lot. He rants a lot, doesn't he?
I don't know what you're saying. I can't hear you.
So we did talk about the ticky-tackiness of fouls and how it was different back in the day. Something that's starting to become a trend, I think, in the NBA, and it's something we haven't seen before in the past, is that players are getting ejected now.
That's a good thing.
And we've seen big-name players get ejected. LeBron James got ejected for the first time since I don't know when.
No,
And now-
ever. In
Ever?
his
Like,
NBA
that's his
career,
first time?
That was his first time
Ever.
ever being ejected in his
Okay.
NBA career.
And then
KD?
KD's been ejected twice now.
I mean,
KD can get a little mouthy, though. And I'm going to have to talk to Wanda because I'm a little disappointed with his behavior. Because Wanda Durant, she doesn't mess around with that.
He's
Like,
what?
she doesn't say, like, this is acceptable in my household.
he's won a championship, and I'm pretty sure he doesn't live with his mama anymore, right?
If she said, hey, I'm moving into the mother-in-law suite / mom suite in the backyard of your
He'll do it.
$50 million mansion,
Yeah.
she's living with them.
I
But it
guess
used
so.
to be guys like LeBron and KD can go mouth off whatever they
Yeah.
want, and referees would just kind of cower down. It seems like this year they're not putting up with it anymore.
Good for them, though. I mean, there has to be a limit. Now, I would say, though, in sports, like, you're going to get emotional. It's okay to get ejected every once in a while. Now, in the playoffs, that shit's got to cut out because you cannot have LeBron getting ejected in the first quarter of the of the NBA Finals. That's not a cool thing.
Well, maybe it's them hardening, or maybe it's just them getting a little bit softer. Because I saw the ejection that LeBron had, and it really wasn't that bad. Like,
No, so
maybe they got a little bit softer, right?
as a Magic fan, one of the things that always frustrated me watching Dwight go up against LeBron in the playoffs, Dwight Howard would go over and complain to a referee and he'd get teed up right away. LeBron James, every single call he does that thinks doesn't go his way, he's in the face of a referee, and they always let it slide. So, to me, that ejection was probably like 12, 13, however many years he's been in the league, 14 years, of just, you know what, we're over it.
Well, I will say that because of Dwight Howard and the Orlando Magic, LeBron left the Cavs because they couldn't get through the juggernaut that was the Orlando Magic
yeah.
that year. Because Dwight was unbelievable that year.
Don't forget about Hito,
Now,
Turkey Glue.
Hito, Rashard Lewis. I mean, that team was stacked. And they were role players, but stacked with role players that stepped up. Rafer Alston in that series.
Oh my
I mean,
God.
I'm throwing back like classics
Yeah.
here.
Oh my
We're
God.
going Orlando Magic all the way.
But
I loved that series.
What happened to that Orlando Magic?
they blew him up. Trade him all the way for Vince Carter.
Vince Carter.
All right, so back on track, though. That's one of the reasons why I can't get on the LeBron train, because he does the flopping.
Yeah.
He'll sit there and he'll drive the lane, and he's worse than Ric Flair. He'll be like, oh, my eye, I just got poked in the eye. And it'll be like, oh, wait, no, it was the left eye. My left eye hurts. Like, which one is it, LeBron?
Yeah, it's bad.
So I didn't feel bad when he got ejected at all.
No, I'm with you on that. I feel like players need to get ejected every
Yeah.
once in a while. It shows that, you know what? You're not above the law. You're not Judge Dredd. I am the law. Like, LeBron James, just shut the fuck up. You're ejected. Peace out. Like, cool down
Right.
and come back and fight another day. Like, that's how it should be.
It wasn't that bad of a jawing off. I mean, I've seen him do worse. Could it be a cultivation of it? I guess so. But at the same time, he could have did worse. I mean, he could have waited for a worse moment. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
whatever. It's the NBA. You're soft.
All right, so
NFL?
well, that's where I was going to go. We're talking about players being ejected.
Ooh.
Let's go to the NFL with players being suspended.
Yeah. For stupid.
Well, we had the
Stupid
Monday
stuff.
night game, which was like a bloodfest, it seemed like, because
Which
these guys were fighting each other tooth and nail, which is great because that's how football should be, but you hate to see what happened. Ryan
Yeah.
Shazier.
Yeah, that's.
I mean, you never want to see a player do that. And honestly, the first reports were, oh, he's got feelings in his extremities. But they've kept him overnight 3 nights in a row. I think things are worse than they've actually led him on to be. He's still in a hospital in Cincinnati. He's supposed to get transported back tomorrow to Pittsburgh. But what I've heard is that it's a contusion on the spine, and they're waiting for the swelling to go down to see how bad the damage is. And they aren't doing surgery, but this is scary. Like, if this was somebody, like, if this was your son or daughter, you'd be freaking out right now. And this is, like, one of those things that shouldn't happen in football, but it's kind of one of those things that does happen. It always reminds me of the old Dennis Bird, like, the really tragic things that happen. So you hate to see that happening now. It hasn't happened in a long time. Equipment's gotten better. Gear's gotten better. They've gotten better about how they hit people. But, I mean, I just want to say, like, I wish him a speedy recovery. I hope he comes back to form. But I'm worried he'll never play football again.
So
It's part of the game, though.
one of the good news, I don't know if it's good news, bad news, but a good sign was the fact that he was able to grab his back, roll over. Like, he was still able to move.
Yeah.
So I'm not a doctor. He could be paralyzed from the waist down. We don't know.
Right.
But it's a good sign when he's able to move and have control of some of his extremities.
Technology has come a long way from the 60s
To
and
me,
70s.
to me, the hit that scared me more was the Joe Mixon hit, because when Joe Mixon got hit, he was out, and you don't know if that's a concussion knocked out or a paralyzed from the neck down
Yeah.
knocked out, because as soon as he got hit, he was motionless. And anytime I see a football player completely motionless on the field, it scares the ever-living
those are
hell
scary.
out of me. Now, obviously, it ended up being a concussion, and so it's a lot better. But there's a lot of hope for Shazier with the fact that he was able to move and able to flag people over. He grabbed his back. Like, it could be paralyzed from the waist down, or it could just be a slip disc or a ruptured disc. Something that's obviously, when you have back injuries,
It's scary.
it's scary.
It is.
And they can be lifelong. I mean, look at Tiger Woods. It had nothing to do with any sort of impact, but he's had back problems his whole career, and it's completely derailed his career.
Yeah.
So like you said, he could be done with football But if he comes away with just some lower back pains, hell, compared to what it could be, like we said, paralyzed from the waist down or whatever, that's good news.
Yeah,
But
that was a bloody. I mean, I say bloody, but you got Mixon, you have Shazier, but you also had Perfect. What do you guys think about that hit? That Juju, who he was becoming my favorite player in the league because he's doing all this fun stuff. Then all of a sudden he turned into a thug, where he knocks out Perfect, who's not a nice guy. Like everybody knows him as the villain, and he kind of stands over him while he's writhing there in pain. What do you guys think about that?
I think we're reacting through our new glasses that we wear in 2017.
You are. I'm not.
No. We are. Like, not you.
Yeah.
I'm just saying we as a society.
Okay, there we go.
Anthony is.
I was on that.
It's a hit.
I was on that
Football.
train with you, but then I heard a guy on Fox Sports say that was a football play.
That was a football play.
He was
shoulder in.
he
It
was-
wasn't a dirty play.
He
I
was
agree.
ready to make a tackle. Perfect was right there. He was part of the play. It wasn't like it was 20 yards down the field and he just took a cheap shot. And standing over players, we do that all day, every day. We either stand over them or we do celebrations over them. Like, that's just, it's like Anthony always says, it's a gladiator sport.
Right. So last week on Scout Team Sports, I knocked Anthony out, and I was standing over him laughing my ass off.
Sure, that happened.
It was a thing.
Like I always tell people, I mean, if everybody goes back to concussions and safety and everything, hockey's a much more concussion prone
Damn,
sport.
dude. You've become a hockey lover.
Baseball, soccer's you get more concussions than football.
Yeah, soccer's dangerous with the head. Because
Exactly.
It's two people going up with their head trying to get the ball at the same time, and they just knock heads. More concussions in youth soccer than youth football.
Absolutely. So that hit that Juju did, that was a football play. And when I saw it, I did like everybody else. Woo! And then everybody started saying, "Oh my God, I can't believe he did that." I'm like, "What are you talking about? Shit, that's football. That's how you play the sport. You don't want to see anybody hurt. That's why you always tell people, keep your head on a swivel. You make sure your peripherals are open because somebody's gonna sneak up on you." That was a clean hit. And as much as we want to say, "Oh man, we want to protect players and everything," that's part of the sport. That's part of the sport.
I'm going to take this in a little bit different direction because I agree with you. That was part of the game, and that was a clean hit. But did you see the Rob Gronkowski hit?
Oh, that was dirty as shit.
Dude, that was so dirty because that was a retaliation hit.
Yeah.
It wasn't part of the game. It wasn't part of the play. It wasn't anything to do with anything other than I'm pissed off because you intercepted the ball that was supposed to be coming to me,
Yep.
and I'm going to give you the forearm shiver right on the back of the head. That deserved more of a suspension than these other two plays that happened during the game.
Absolutely. And when he did that, he should have been immediately ejected from the game.
But he's a patriot.
I don't give a fuck. That was dirty.
God bless
as shit.
America. He's a patriot,
That
and he
was dirty.
represents nation's finest.
Whatever. That was the dirtiest football play I've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought we had moved beyond that. Like, dude, there's cameras every fucking where. Just so you have the audacity to do that, you should be ejected from the game and suspended for 5.
Now,
Period.
I agree with you on that.
There's no need for that.
And again, sparking some more conversation here. How effed up is the NFL with they have no idea how to suspend guys. They have this rule where it's like, we're going to suspend this guy 2 games, this guy 4, this guy 3, this guy 1, and they have no idea each week how to suspend a guy. And this dates back to the Ray Rice stuff. This dates back. They just never get it right, it seems like.
They know how. It's just a business decision at this point, and it shouldn't be. Are we in it for business? Are we in it for player safety? What are we actually doing? Because if it was player safety, Gronkowski would have been out for 5 games. But it's a business decision because it's the Patriots and they're winning, and that's your bread and butter. Hey, we're going to give you a game. Continue to let you play.
But if you deflate a ball, you get 4 games.
Yeah, seriously.
And you give a guy a concussion, you get 1 game.
That's because
That's hypocritical.
Not only that, if we kind of think you may have deflated balls, we suspend you for 4 games. But if we know for a fact, we have 15 different camera angles that you tried to murder somebody on the field or paralyze them.
That's because something that Tennessee has gone through. The fans have a voice, and fans are going to go to bat for their team no matter what. So hey, look, we suspended.
But why do they have a voice? They shouldn't.
But listen, we suspended Brady for 4 games, and we got backlash. I almost lost my job for it. Hey, Gronkowski did something. Hey, 15 different camera angles. We're not going to go through this shit again with the Patriots. Suspend them for 1. Let it ride.
I
Seriously,
think there should be a
that's the truth.
backlash against the league right now. And
But you can't have it both ways, though, and that's what's going on. You want Goodell to crash down, but you don't want Goodell to crash down. You know, and that's just the way it is. Fans run everything. Unfortunately, the football commissioner should be able to stand up on a podium and say, "I'm the commissioner."
But if fans
I'm the
run
fucking
everything-
commissioner.
why did Brady get 4 games?
Because fans wanted it.
Everybody outside of New England.
Yes. Everybody wanted to see
Do you
blood.
think all the people that were on Gronk's party cruise are like, wait a second, this guy's cool. I saw him. He hooked me up with some chick. It's cool. Let's not suspend him more than 1 game.
I'm just saying, doesn't that make sense though? He, like you said, he almost hurt. I mean, he could seriously hurt somebody. He's a big ass man.
When you're dealing with
jumping on
people's
another
necks
guy.
and
Are you
head, like,
serious?
again, we're talking about paralyzation, brain injury. Like,
He should be gone.
I'm all for the violence of football, but I'm also not for people being paralyzed and people committing suicide like Junior Seau or any of the other negative stuff that comes with it. So it's a balancing act that we have to figure out right now. And we all agree what Gronk did, there's no place for that in football.
No.
None.
I agree.
That's what Gronk did.
Hey, and we don't agree on too much.
No, what
the 3 of us.
Gronk did actually makes it worse for Juju Schuster and Hart and Hardy. You know what I'm saying? Because now I can't do my job because this idiot jumped on somebody after the play.
Right.
So now I can't be aggressive. I can't actually go out and play the game that I've been tasked to play. That's all it makes.
So speaking about doing your job,
These
your Redskins had one job.
fucking one job, man.
So
Win
I'm
the
gonna talk,
game.
I'm going to talk
Shit.
about this real quick because I don't really want to go into too much
of
detail.
course you don't.
F the Cowboys and my Redskins. Right now I'm crying in my beer. You guys let me down this year. Kirk Cousins, you're still a top 5 quarterback. Can we move on?
Listen,
You're gonna move on because he's gonna be gone next season.
new Florida coach Dan Mullen groomed quarterback Dak Prescott. Just lit you
Had to
guys
throw
up,
that
man.
out there. You had to throw that. out.
So I'm going to throw this out there. This is a good segue just so we get off this topic.
Go ahead.
So last year, the Washington Redskins offensive coordinator was Sean McVay, an amazing football talent as a coach. And this year, he's coaching head coach of the Los Angeles Rams, and the Rams are rolling, and they continue to roll. These guys look unbelievable on offense, and this week they're going up against the Eagles. That should be a fun game.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm actually excited. I mean, I still haven't watched a lot of NFL, but I'm gonna watch that game. I think my cousin's a big LA Ram fan. He wants to come over, so we're gonna watch that game probably.
The cool thing about this game is that it's the 1 and 2 pick. We talked a lot about how we were glad that the future looks kind of bright with these two guys.
Mhm.
And no matter what happens at the end of the season, if the Rams lose round 1 or they don't make the playoffs because let's say they have this tough track and they go on this losing streak, whatever. Eagles go into the playoffs and they lose their first game. It doesn't matter what happens. This is a bright future, and now that, like, both teams are just playing on house money. I don't think either fan base. I think they kind of had some hope. They kind of had some. I mean, you're
More
a true
the
homer
Eagles than
Yeah.
the
than
Rams.
the Rams. Yeah. But I don't think either fan base could have predicted
Oh
that
God, no.
one would be with 2 losses and the other would be at 3 losses.
Yeah. Yeah, nobody predicted that. I mean, hell, we were still down on them at the beginning of the season. You know,
Which one, the Eagles or the Rams?
both of them.
You were down on those. I was probably down
And
on
what's,
those.
what's funny too about these 2 picks is both of these picks were owned by other teams and they got traded away to the Rams and the Eagles.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, you got to look at those other two teams. I think it was the Browns
The
and
Browns.
Was it the Redskins? Because there was
No.
the RG3, right?
it was either the Titans. I think it was the Titans because they already had Mariota.
Yeah, it wasn't the Redskins.
Oh, gotcha. You're right. So,
So
again,
you can't really hate on the Titans too much because they had their number
they had
2
their
pick
future.
last year at quarterback. I mean, I would rather have Wentz right now than Mariota, but at the time you don't know that.
but on the Browns, you can hate as much as you want because you got a winless team that needs a quarterback that still doesn't have the quarterback. And Deshaun Kaiser is not the answer. We've established that. They're
And
going to have to draft another quarterback this year, and
And you know what?
Sam Darnold doesn't even want to be on that
said
team.
it.
Looking at the way that
Stay
Deshaun
in.
Watson played,
Like-
Myles Garrett's not the answer. That was
No.
their number 1 overall pick.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, "Oh, he's definitely number 1 overall pick." Listen,
Right now.
Quarterback position is more important.
I never understand taking a linebacker or defensive end with the number 1 overall pick. I don't even care if it's J.J. Watt.
They were trying to emulate the movie Draft Day.
Listen, you
What
They
was it?
were.
Well, it was TJ
Yeah.
Where's
Maxx,
Kevin
right?
Costner where you're
Right.
DJ
exactly.
Maxx. DJ Maxx.
but it's listen, even if you got 10 sacks a game, you're not changing the game as much as a guy who can throw for 350 yards and 4 touchdowns.
Yeah.
I just don't understand when teams draft unless you're all set. Unless somehow the New England Patriots end up with the number 1 overall pick, that's the only team I can see. Or the
Green Bay
your
Packers.
Green Bay Packers.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to throw this out there because this kills me every year because the best player in college football is never like the top pick. There's always that, oh, he's not pro ready
Yeah.
type deal. And I felt like that with Deshaun Watson this year. It's like the guy all he did in college football was win
Yeah.
and put up amazing stats. Why was he not the overall number 1 pick?
People talk about how Nick Saban is this defensive genius. If you want to see a defense in college that's as close as you can get to an NFL defense, look at Alabama. And he lit up Alabama both years in a row.
In the fourth quarter at that.
In the fourth quarter at that. The only reason why they lost the year before was because they didn't have the ball last. That was it. They scored a touchdown late. They left too much time on the clock for Alabama's offense to drive down with Coker and everything. And that was really the only difference. If he scored at the last second like he did this last year, he would be 2 national titles. Clemson would be back-to-back, maybe going for a 3-peat this year.
So, again, I get back to this is performance in college. A lot of times we think, oh, you need to be this like stereotypical 6'4", have the arm strength. But these guys that perform in college, sometimes we overlook. Obviously, Deshaun Watson, who in the small sample size with the Texans was so unbelievable. We look at all the other people drafted before him and say, what the hell? Why was he not number 1? But I also look at, as an undrafted rookie a couple years back, a Case Keenum, who now is performing at the University of Houston. The guy was unbelievable, putting up stats left and right. But we said, okay, he's too short. He doesn't fit that profile. He goes undrafted, and he's performing. So, again, sometimes I think we overlook performance in college and look at more at the intangibles, which to me that doesn't mean anything. Okay, your weightlifting is great. You can bench this much. You can throw the ball 400 yards. I think of Jamarcus Russell. I remember this video of him on his knee throwing the ball 50 yards. And everybody's like, dude, he's going to be the next Joe Montana. Joe Montana was not like a buff dude that could throw the ball on his knee 50 yards. The guy was clutch and could throw the ball when he needed to, where he needed to, and that's what it takes to be a quarterback. So anyway, I just think that sometimes we overlook performance in college and think more about these other combine type attributes.
Well, you brought up the Vikings, and just like we said with the Rams and the Eagles, other than, you know what, my boy Preston called it. He said the Vikings were going to have a hell of a season this year.
Yeah.
I didn't believe it. I don't think any of us believed it. I don't even know. Viking fans, they're true blue. They know it, but I don't know anybody who would have said a
The
Case
Vikings.
Keenum Vikings-led team would be one of the top teams in the NFC. And they beat the Falcons.
and not one of the top teams right now. They are number one because the Eagles lost.
Yeah.
In the NFC, the Vikings are the number one team, which is, again, unbelievable. You got Case Keenum. Their offensive line is, in my opinion, the best offensive line. They're like the Cowboys' offensive line from last year. It doesn't matter who's running the ball. You got Jerick McKinnon and Latavius Murray looking like superstars. And early in the year, you had your guy Dalvin Cook from FSU, Mac.
Mm-hmm.
And he looked like a superstar. But now I'm looking at him thinking, maybe this offensive line was just opening up holes that anybody could run through.
I mean, they look good.
Do they look good or do they look freaking awesome?
I mean, obviously, they look really good. I'm still
right,
not
okay.
sold, though. This season's going to be a wild season. I do think we end up with another Super Bowl champ, a different Super Bowl champ than New England Patriots. I just don't know who. It's going to be a wild card.
Well, it's crazy because you say you're not sold, but I'm just sitting here thinking about the NFC side of the playoffs, and it's filled with teams that none of us saw coming. So
Yeah.
right now it's the Eagles, the Rams, the Seahawks, the Saints, and my Panthers.
And the Vikings.
And the Vikings. I don't know. I mean, I was the only homer saying that the Panthers would make the playoffs. All you guys were low on them. I mean, sure, we all called the Seahawks winning that West Division.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as the Saints and the Vikings and
Nobody
the
saw
Eagles
that.
and the Rams,
Yeah.
I don't think any of us were calling that.
Yeah.
So one of those teams have to win the NFC Championship, right?
Yeah, the Giants aren't going to do it. So
Yeah, definitely not the Giants. Even if Eli starts, the Giants have no chance.
Even if he doesn't start, they
Yeah,
have no
they have no
chance.
chance.
So I want to go over AFC a little bit because you're right. NFC is a little bit wide open, and it's top heavy. But AFC is not so top heavy. You got your Patriots and your Steelers, but after that, it's really why it's anybody's ball game. And looking at the AFC West, you had the Chiefs, who started out the year 5-0,
Yeah.
and now they've gone 1-6 since then.
And then you have the Chargers on the other end of the spectrum. Your
The
Chargers.
San Diego Chargers, who I'm jumping on
LA
that bandwagon.
Chargers.
Shit. San Diego, a whale's vagina. And I love them because they are now in LA, which is a terrible place for a NFL team. But Phillip Rivers, Old Man Rivers, doing his thing. Keenan Allen, unbelievable. Chargers are now tied with the Raiders and the Chiefs for the lead of that division. And it seems like the Chargers are going to be the one that comes out of this because they're the ones that are hot right now.
They're the only one trending up.
They
Everybody else
really
is trending
are.
down. So the Chiefs lost to what we deemed as the New York bye weeks.
The Jets.
We
who
were
are-
wrong. It should have been the Giants.
Yeah, it should have been the Giants. And the Jets have had a good year. Give them that.
A better year than
Better
we
than
expected.
Giants.
It's not a
Yeah.
good year. They're what, 6 and
No, they're not even six in anything. What are they? Jets are 5-7.
So, as a fan, 5-7's a win. Yes, the Browns won the Super Bowl.
sorry, we're
So-
at the bar and the manager's a Browns fan.
And nobody
about
typically admits that they're a Browns fan. So this
Nobody.
guy, he's got a lot of courage. More so than anybody I've ever met in my life. I mean, Browns fans at the game are pretty passionate, but once you get out of the game, finding one on the street, they're not usually open to admitting that they're a Browns fan.
Jersey,
Yeah.
roll it up.
They're like,
I
how
do-
about those Ravens?
I do feel like if you want to get wasted, go to a Browns
Go to a Browns
tailgate.
game.
Because I feel like every Browns fan that's at a Browns tailgate has to get completely trashed just to take the beating they're about to receive.
So they do the giant
Who, the
vodka
Browns?
bottle challenge. They say, okay, for me to go into this game, I have to take this giant bottle of vodka, whether it's Grey Goose or if it's standard or whatever they can get, even if it's the cheap stuff, and they have to chug that shit before they go into the game just to be able to survive the entire game. Because you know what the Cleveland Browns will do? They'll score early and then give you a little bit of hope, and then the other team will come back and smash it and make you feel like a total dick.
Yeah, I guess so.
All right, so let's get back to the Chiefs, though. Since we got derailed by the
we're
manager.
go misery now?
Yeah.
Straight up misery.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
People are still calling for Alex Smith's head and saying, "Oh, I told you Alex Smith's not elite." I like Smith threw for 366 yards,
Exactly.
4 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions.
You can't call
Start
that
Patrick
on him.
Mahomes.
Why?
You gotta get a spark.
You're not
Why?
getting 366 yards and 4 touchdowns
you
out of
serious?
Patrick Mahomes.
Come
You might get
on, bro.
367 and 5 touchdowns out of
Get
him.
out of
Yeah.
here, man.
There's no video here, but we have a gold microphone.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
The,
he's the
man with the golden
mic.
mic.
yeah. I'm special. It's my golden mic. It's my baby.
All right, so we're gonna bring the manager in. Go ahead and sit down while Kyle takes the piss.
We are unfiltered and unadulterated.
Introduce yourself, sir.
Hi, I'm Jeff from Gators.
No, you got to talk in the mic.
You gotta talk in the mic.
Yeah, in the mic, man.
Into the mic.
The button that works?
No, it's already
It's
on.
already-
Oh, okay. Hi, everybody.
What's
All right,
up?
so you're a Browns fan,
Yes.
born and raised in Cleveland,
Yes. Well, outside of Cleveland.
or outside of Cleveland? Yeah, it
Yeah.
doesn't matter. There's only 2 cities in Ohio that people know. Well, 3: Cincinnati, Cleveland, and Columbus.
Yeah.
So I gotta ask,
Canton, Ohio, the Football Hall of
Canton.
Fame.
That's true, Canton. So what's with all of the C's? Canton, Columbus, Cleveland, Cincinnati. I mean, then you got
We're a
Akron.
C-rated state.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
That
now.
does
I get
make
it.
sense. A C-rated state. I
Yeah.
like that.
It's all good. So a Browns fan through and through. What do you
Through and
what do you feel? You think you're gonna win at least one this season?
No, not this year.
Not
Not
Which
possible. Not
which
possible.
quarterback do you want, Rosen or Darnold?
Couldn't tell you right now. What we do need is an offensive line to protect him.
Yeah.
No sense getting a new quarterback if you can't protect him.
Well, I will tell you that Darnold, the quarterback from USC, has already said if Browns get the #1 pick, he's staying in school.
No, he said that wasn't true.
That's what he said.
I wouldn't blame
Come
him.
on, Eli said the same thing when he came out of school.
No,
though.
he came out and he said, "You better trade me,"
But either way, he said.
but he
it.
still came out
I
of
know
school.
there's probably
Yeah, he
talks
still
with
came.
Brett Favre or something like that. Come
Oh,
out of
yeah,
retirement.
hey,
Don't do
Brett
that.
Favre is better than anything else.
Hey, he
That's
can't
just a
escape.
joke, fans. Don't believe that.
I'm just saying he can't escape anybody with those knees anyway, man. You guys need a young, fresh face.
But he'll look good in them jeans.
He's got them copper fit though.
Whatever, dude. I will agree. You need an offensive line. You need something desperate. A defense too. You know.
Defense is holding their own, but I think the offense is.
Well, that's why
major-
they
major
drafted.
ability
That's
right
why they drafted Myles Garrett. I don't know why they got rid of Gator legend Joe Hayden. They should have kept him
Yeah,
until he broke his leg
that's why they got rid of him.
because they knew his leg was going to get broken later
I
on.
mean, maybe.
He was
I'm
on the
just-
injury.
All right, so I got another
for a
question.
moment. Yes, sir.
LeBron James, staying or going?
I think he'll stay another 2 years.
Another 2 years. I
Yeah.
like it.
Think
Yeah.
you win the championship this year?
Even if they don't win the championship, I think he's building the team up for good things, and I don't see the Golden State Warriors doing it this year with all the injuries they got and everything.
Yeah, and then they got KD getting ejected all the time.
Yeah, so.
Bunch of
All right,
whiny
man. Well, we'll
babies.
let you get back to work. We
have
got
a guy
Kyle
from
tag
Nashville,
teaming.
Tennessee on the phone.
I don't know where he gets that shirt from. He shops at Joanne Fabric a lot.
Hey guys.
Yeah,
What's going on?
I can't wait for you to listen to that.
I was just calling in from
That's pretty
Nashville,
awesome.
Tennessee.
Yeah, because you
Yeah,
got that
shit.
Nashville T-shirt on.
So the reason I have this shirt, Nashville holds a little place in my heart. I got married there.
Ah.
I don't know if you guys knew
Which
that.
time?
Um,
Oh wait, you've only been married once. I forgot.
Oh yeah.
I'm the only one with more than one
That's
marriage.
so
How many
fucked
times have
up,
you been
man.
married? Has it been more than 2?
No, it's just 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're okay.
Yeah.
How many times have you been married? More
Twice.
than twice?
No,
okay.
just twice.
Okay.
Been divorced twice.
Divorced twice?
Yeah.
So you're looking for a third time?
I'm looking to get divorced first this time around. See how that works out.
He reversed it all up.
Yeah, like a
Yeah.
reverse mortgage.
So
Will
I
you
feel
divorce
like
me?
the divorce party is almost more fun than the marriage party.
Something like
Is
that.
that a thing?
Maybe.
All right, so before we got interrupted by you going peeing and us talking to a Cleveland Browns fan,
I did not go pee.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I did.
That's fine.
we were talking about the AFC picture, the Chiefs. We were talking about the Chargers.
The Browns.
I feel like
Yeah.
here's what's
Well.
going to happen. It doesn't matter what any of these other teams do. It's going to be Patriots, Steelers.
And I'm going to say what I said last week. I feel like the Chargers are the hot team, and they're going to be the ones. And I don't think they're going to make it to the Super Bowl, but I feel like they're going to be in the AFC Championship.
Really?
So you got them beating the Steelers,
Yes.
or do you have the Steelers as the number 1 seed?
No, I have Patriots as the number 1 seed. So, and again, this could switch around, and I can't
Well, they
guarantee
play
this.
each other next week or the week after.
I feel like the Steelers, they beat the Steelers, and then it's the Chargers and the Patriots in the AFC Championship. And I'd like to say the Chargers win that, but there's nobody stopping the Patriots, unfortunately, at this point.
Yeah. I really thought who they played last week.
The Jets.
No, they didn't. Play
Oh,
the Jets
wait.
last
That
week.
was
were gonna-
Chiefs.
I thought the Bills were going to give them a run for their money, and that turned out.
You know, I
just
saw some
fraud.
videos of the Bills Mafia, and they were like, there was a dude jumping off of like a trailer, like a RV almost, and he was falling into a mattress, and he looked like he was knocked out. Bills fans are crazy.
I mean, it's Buffalo. They ain't got shit else to do.
Already today?
Yeah, we had a college show. What you got? To
Oh wait, we gotta get him a microphone though. We've got a special
I
guest.
can share the gold mic, right?
Yeah.
Oh no,
There, we got a mic right here.
There you go.
he doesn't realize Anthony is very fond of his golden mic.
I did not
He
know that.
speaks into that.
No fingerprints.
He
no.
takes that with him to bed at night. His wife really likes it.
Yeah, sure.
So my question on the college football polls and everything is, the teams that are in it, they won their divisions. Why is Ohio State not in there?
Oh man.
Oh wait, you're a
I gotta-
Cleveland Browns
hold
fan,
on,
so
hold on,
you must
hold
be
on.
okay. I see where this is
I
going.
got an answer to this.
Go ahead.
Because Penn State wasn't in last year.
That's true. That's absolutely true. They set precedents.
You have the floor, representative from Ohio.
Go ahead. You gotta look.
Hey,
He's speechless.
And
He's absolutely speechless.
and the simple answer to it, besides that, is Alabama's a better team than Ohio State. I mean, it's just the way it is. Alabama's a better team than Ohio State.
He didn't like that answer
He
more
didn't
than
like
my
that
answer.
Yeah,
First
that's
of all,
fine.
when somebody speaks to you and they're wearing a Florida State hat, their credibility is basically thrown out the window before they even say one word.
Oh yeah, I used to tell my food runner because he was a Seminole fan. He said, "Let's see, are you guys in the top 25?
Oh, really?
Nope.
No,
Oh,
Top
okay.
30?
no,
No.
Hey, what is Gator over here laughing
Did you
at?
guys win a game this year? Oh, I-
Barely.
We beat the
Oh,
Gators.
against the Gators.
Yeah, we beat
Wow,
the
that's
Gators.
the only win.
Yeah, it's all good. Hey,
Hey,
You guys are on a rebuilding season, right?
we got
Yeah.
Willie Swagger. We gonna
you
be
know
all
what?
right.
I want to go ahead and revisit the Boston College game. Because that
Damn
was my
UCF
favorite
fan
game.
talking shit, man.
Hey,
2 years
which
removed.
UCF loss do you want to talk
2
about?
years
Oh, wait, there
removed,
aren't any.
motherfucker.
There are
Hey, they're in
none.
12th place.
Yeah,
Can you
2
say anything
years
about that?
removed.
12-0.
12 and 0, is that what
removed.
we're talking about?
2 years removed.
From
Don't-
what?
Don't get all
Hey.
get all twisted.
Oh, wait, are you living in the past, huh?
I'm just
Hey,
saying.
In a relationship twice removed, you still got to pay taxes, don't you?
Like,
Good point.
yeah,
Good point.
Better respect the big brother, boy.
Big brother,
Period.
what?
Yeah.
Hey, so bold prediction. UCF has a better record than FSU next year.
Oh, I like it.
We're already jumping into 2018.
We are jumping in 2018. Relax there. Simmer down there, buddy. Simmer
No,
down.
there's nothing to relax about.
Simmer
I'm pretty
down.
sure that it's a slam dunk.
Simmer down there.
All right, our train got derailed. Let's get back on
Again.
it real quick. Next week,
Was it the
Saints
sunrail?
Falcons.
Because it hits cars.
Come on, stop. Too soon, man.
Saints Falcons.
I'm sorry, man. I know it was totaled, but at least you survived.
Saints Falcons, go.
What? We gotta talk about that later. I got Saints. Saints look hot.
I got to root for the Saints now.
Saints. Why?
Isn't
Because
that-
they beat your Panthers?
Well, they did, and I think, I mean, we're still in it as far as winning the South, but now I just want that wild card.
Mm-hmm. I hear you. Go ahead. What you got next?
Oh, let's go back a little bit. Your Packers. We said that they had to win 2
Wiggity,
games.
wiggity.
You guys got your 2 games.
Because we got the Browns this week, right?
Well, you won the Bears. You won. Who did you beat the week before that?
No, we didn't. We only won.
Or you beat the Bucks. Sorry, you beat the
Yeah, we
Bucks
beat
and you
the
beat the Bears.
So your schedules really helped you out
We didn't beat the
because
Bears while he was out. Oh yeah, we did. We
Yeah,
did.
yeah,
we
last
did.
week.
you
Yeah,
got 2
yeah,
wins
yeah.
and you're going into the Browns this week. So they don't have to bring Aaron Rodgers back quickly because if you're playing the Browns, you think Brett Hundley can handle the Browns.
I don't think he's
And
eligible
so-
to come back this week.
And then Aaron Rodgers the following week comes back you have the momentum, and you're looking at the wild card if you keep winning. I think it could happen. The Packers are in really prime position. Teams like the Lions got stomped by the Ravens this past week. Mm-hmm. The Ravens are better than I expected them to be, even though they have garbage Joe Flacco as their quarterback. But now you have the Packers, who will end up winning if Aaron Rodgers comes back.
That's a wild one. I don't know.
I mean, you're a fan. Come on, you got to jump on my bandwagon.
I just don't want him to get hurt before next season. You know, I want to save him for a sure thing.
Like DeAndre Francois and me.
Basically, I don't want to waste it if he gets hurt. So if he's not ready, don't bring him back. I don't care if we miss the playoffs. I really don't.
All right, so do you think they beat the Browns?
Yeah, we beat the Browns.
All right.
So I got Browns. Josh Gordon, I think he gets 190 yards receiving.
He had a great debut though, right?
I'm excited about this guy.
Yeah.
The Browns fans have now one thing to be excited about. I should have brought it up when we had our Browns fan extraordinaire in here.
Gordon.
But Josh Gordon,
Yeah.
I mean, the guy is so talented. I just hope he stays off of his addiction problems. He's got so many drug and alcohol issues. If he can stay clean and stay healthy, the sky is the limit. He is better than Antonio Brown if he is at his peak and stays out of trouble. And that is saying a lot, because Antonio Brown, in my opinion, is the best receiver in the NFL.
They were 9 points away from beating your San Diego Chargers. Just saying.
And the Chargers are really good.
Yeah. All right. What you got?
All right, we got Raiders Chiefs.
Ooh.
Damn.
This is at Chiefs.
Yeah.
So they got to bounce back.
No.
I believe in it.
Raiders win, man.
I'm a big Chiefs fan. I'm on
I
that
can't
bandwagon.
believe they have gone as low as they have gone. This shocks me. In week 5 or week 6, after they lost,
They're winning the Super Bowl.
or I mean, after they won week 5 and they were 5-0, I said on this show, they are the best team in the NFL.
Yes, you did.
And I feel like an idiot right now.
Well, listen. New Gator coach Dan Mullen, developed quarterback Alex Smith is giving everything he can.
Dang it, bruh. He's all over it, ain't he?
Everything
How
he
does he
can.
pull this shit up,
366
man?
yards, 4 touchdowns. Man, the Chiefs their defense have got to help them out. And I think they can do it against the Raiders.
I'm going Chiefs this
Let's
game.
go Chiefs.
Because I said Oakland's not going to make the playoffs. So I'm going Chiefs. I got to get it.
Screw you guys. I'm going Oakland.
All right. Nobody cares about Colts Bills.
Wait, man. Who don't care about Colts Bills?
So
do you care about
I read
Colts
an
Bills?
article
No, I just
earlier
fucking with
today
you,
that said that based on
He
the
reads a lot, doesn't
FPI,
he?
which is the Football Power Index, that the Colts are the worst team in the NFL. They
Including
actually
the
are rated
Browns?
lower than the Browns based on their current team, which to me is just asinine.
How
But
does he read this shit? Where do you read this shit from?
yeah, Google that shit, bro.
All
right.
Keep going.
So what's crazy is if the Cowboys would have lost to the Redskins last week, the Eagles would have solidified. They would have won the division. But because the Cowboys
Can
won,
we not bring up the damn Redskins losing
All right.
to the Cowboys because that shit
dude.
pisses me off?
because
every
the
time.
Cowboys won,
I think
they-
you're doing that on purpose.
No, but what's crazy is the
so
Cowboys.
what is the Gators' record this year?
the Cowboys
Okay,
have a
enough
chance
said.
to win the division still, which is crazy to me. They play the Giants. I think they take another step closer, but they also have to have the Eagles lose.
I think Eli comes back and plays his heart out, saying like, "Wait a second, why did you bench me? Ben McAdoo's gone. I'm gonna light this shit up." He's gonna reach out. He's gonna throw 3 touchdowns to Sterling Shepard, and Giants win this game.
Yeah, that
You heard it here first. I'm the only one predicting this.
You are,
I'm the bold prediction.
you are absolutely
master.
the one predicting this. No one else
I'm
is
way
saying
better
this.
at bold predictions than reality check-ins. We got Matthew Melendez. That guy, he can do some bold predictions, but not as good as I can.
Okay.
Come on, Chris America. You want me to say something?
He's
right.
Just
all
say
over
it. Just say it.
Dude. Whatever.
I think new Gator coach Dan Mullen, developed quarterback
Can you
Dak
stop
Prescott.
mentioning Dan Mullins, please? We had our college football. We had an hour college football program on, which we
I'm
are
talking about the
featuring
NFL. I'm talking about Dak Prescott. What are you talking about?
Dak Prescott. I'm not talking about him. What about Ezekiel Elliott? Let's talk about him.
He's suspended.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's not talk about him.
He's that Ohio bred.
Man, who you got? Come on.
I got Cowboys.
Cowboys.
Not the Cowboys.
All right, then we got Seahawks, Jaguars.
Jaguars all the way. Saxonville came back. They had a huge game this past week. Calais Campbell had a couple more sacks. It was unbelievable. And Jacksonville, I was reluctant to say this earlier in the year, but I'm going to say it now. They are the real deal in Jacksonville. The Saxonville Jaguars are the real deal. They're making the playoffs, and they may not come up big in the playoffs because I do believe it's going to be the Chargers and Patriots in the AFC Championship, but they might win a wild card
They'll be
round.
competitive.
They'll be competitive. And you know what? As a Jaguars fan base, that is more than they could have ever asked for going into this year.
All right.
That's a mouthful, bro. Just say Jaguars.
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 All right,
Jaguars.
you guys got any MVPs?
My MVP is Ed Odron because he speaks in such a
What the
What?
hell, dude? He just
Keep going. No,
Yeah,
keep going.
Yeah.
he speaks with such articulation that
Yeah.
I want to idolize him in such a way that is just Ed Odron. Thank you.
All right, so my MVP, there was, they gave J.J. Watt and who's the Houston baseball player? Altuve.
Jose
the Sports
Altuve.
Man of the Year award.
MVP.
Right. So this radio station I was listening to in Florida said, "Who's the Florida Sportsman of the Year?" And they didn't throw out this name. I felt like the Sportsman of the Year for Florida was new Florida coach Dan Mullen developed quarterback Timothy Richard Tebow for hitting so many home runs this year in the state of Florida. It was fantastic. It was phenomenal. He probably could not have done it without Dan Mullen. Tim Tebow's my MVP. And Dan Mullen.
My God.
Wait a second.
No.
Dan
no,
Mullen
no.
is not
No,
an
no.
MVP over Ed Odron.
No, let it ride.
I'm just saying
Let it
that.
ride. My MVP,
If you put them together, there is definitely a problem there because Ed Odron had a career year.
my,
All right, go ahead, Mac. I'm sorry. I interrupted you.
No, you're fine. And that's why you're getting my
Wait,
MVP.
did you say something?
You're my MVP, buddy. You just all over the place, man. Like, what's wrong with you, man? You hyped up on happy pills or something? I got to
So-
take you to rehab?
I want to thank everybody in the committee for making me the MVP this week.
You're my MVP.
I needed to come in hot this week
You-
because
you
I
came
feel
in
like
hot.
we've come in a little like dull the last couple weeks, and we need to really like pep things up a little bit. Like, let's come in hot.
You came
So
in
I did
hot,
it.
bro.
I did it. I came in hot.
You're my MVP for coming in hot, man. I appreciate you.
Well, I appreciate being appreciated, so I appreciate everybody for listening and appreciating me for being appreciated by at Anthony or at Max Scout Team. So follow us on Twitter
He's still
at
going.
Scout Team Radio,
He's still
at
going.
Scout Team SPRTS, at
Max Scout Team.
Chris
at
America,
Chris Scout
Team.
At
And
Kyle Scout
you
Team.
got to hit us up on Instagram, on Snapchat, and anywhere else we can be found. 12 Ounce Sports Radio.
Google us.
Google us. Google the man with the golden mic. You might find something interesting.
All right.
There was a porno once, and he doesn't want to talk about it.
Here we go. Tune in next week where we'll be at CC's Pizza to talk to their manager about the Tennessee Volunteers.
See ya.
We're
See
out.
ya.